Hey everyone, it's Chris Shelley. We're here with some more iRacing this week. We got Rockingham in the ARCA cars. Fun track. I really like practicing this track. I really like racing this track. There's so much, such a challenge with all these bumps, all the tire wear and everything. It's fun. Let's take a look at the qualifying lap here. So you kind of have to diamond turn 1 and 2. Enter low, play with the brakes a little bit. Don't want to get too much because you'll lock up and lose front grip. And you sort of gas it off. The track just falls away from you after turn 2. In turn 3, you sort of like have to get that early apex and then just kind of gas it up because there's so much banking. You just get stuck into the track. So you might as well just hammer it down as soon as you can, essentially. Not full flat out, but as much as you can. You got a 24-1. That was good enough for P2 in qualifying. Let's go on to the race. And I can talk more about the track as we get into the race here. Alright, here we are for the race. 45 laps at a 1 mile track. It's not a short distance. It's a lot of laps, especially on these tires that wear out pretty quickly. Middle of the day, so the track temperature is going to be up there too. Like you're already pushing 101 degrees Fahrenheit on track temp. It heats up a little bit, especially like that bottom line through the middle of the run. My strategy is trying to sort of not lose the leader too much, but try to save tires until about halfway, just because of how balance dependent this track is. It's really easy to just, like, once you lose a tire, it's gone. You lose the right rear, it's probably going. You lose the right front, you're never getting that right front back. You're never going to get that front wheel back if you lose the right front. So that was something I had to consider this entire race, trying to save the tires a little bit, but also put myself in a position to win. Because I know you all getting tired of seeing me not win, right? So I had to pull something out here, so try to get this one. So we start, P2 gets down to the bottom pretty quickly, and try to just get in a rhythm. And then there's a lapper that spun out already, and then spins out again. So everyone in the top 5 basically takes a Joker lap down on the apron. To dodge the ball. So that was something. But after that, it gets a little bit less eventful. So from sort of getting up to speed, I don't want to, like, as these tires are coming up to temperature, I do not want to damage them. I'm just trying to take it easy. And honestly, there are guys behind me who were taking it even easier than I was. But I was definitely lifting out earlier, using a little less brake because I'm lifting out a little earlier. Just letting the car rotate. And then not forcing anything in these corners. Definitely trying to be easier to the right front than I am the right rear. On the rears, I'm really gassing it up because that's just more pushing me forward, right? My philosophy to this race, at least at the beginning, was save the right front, but the rear, you just have to go. You have to use that throttle to keep that momentum up and keep the speed up. So we can let's go in depth into my line here. Up into the wall, brake. And one thing I started doing as well on these race runs is that I brake very light coming into the corner in turn 1 and 2, but then I get back on the brake after you get a little hump. And I'll show you, like, if you look again, you'll see what exactly I mean. This track, turn 1 is really weird because of all the bumps, so you kind of lose the track a little bit. You get taken out of the track, and then you come back into it, and that's when you get grip and set into the corner. But set into the corner so early that you still are wanting that more rotation. So that's why sometimes if I enter that way, I will try to keep the brake or put more brake back in after getting out of it. And I've noticed that helped me a little bit when I was doing that. I think I did it here again. Yeah, right there. So that was one thing to consider. I'm getting really aggressive on the gas. I know I've been talking about tire balance as well. Also, 3 and 4 is basically, I'm running it similar to qualifying. It's just a little bit more coast time than trying to really lean on the right rear. Get more trouble in front of us. There was a lot of wrecking this race. I don't get what was happening with it. Just a lot of random weird stuff with lap traffic. This is a tough track, actually, so I guess that is what is happening with it. It's a difficult track. Tires start wearing. It's a difficult track to battle on. I mean, so I guess that's it. I just answered my own question. Anyways, with the tire balance, save the right front, use the right rear is my approach. Everything in practice that I've learned was, okay, my right front's going to burn them if I don't save it. My right front's going to burn them if I don't, like, explicitly trying to keep the car loose by using the right rear. So here's, and also this guy is kind of just in the middle of the track. It was weird. It's just unlucky timing. I think he was going really slow and didn't know where to go. So I just lose a bunch of time. Free. But that just happens. That's racing. So 6 car, we did have almost a second gap on them. Now it's right behind us. And these are some heavy hitters. He had JP Phillips in the 2 car, and then in the 1, Anthony Kernich. Both really, really strong drivers. Like, I've never beaten Anthony in any of these ARCA races. So this is some competition here. And I was a little worried because they were definitely saving more than I was. But you'll see what happens when how much they were saving compared to how much I was sort of saving, because I wasn't full saving. I would say this entire first like 15 laps, actually the first 10 laps, until that lap car got in my way, I was definitely saving. I was only going like 90. I was going 90 to 95 instead of like a 100% sustainable run. I'm trying to get absolutely everything out of it. I was going like 90, 95%. I would say backing up the corner just a little bit, and then not really saving a whole lot anywhere else. Just backing up the corner and trying to use a little less steering wheel. There's that. There you can see with this camera angle as well the diamond approach for 1 and 2, and then turn about a little bit after that rock symbol. Try to get down close to the yellow line and just gas it up once the banking hits. Not a lot of close time in there. Alright, 15 laps in, 1/3 of the way through. So now, because I'm so far behind this leader, this is when I start clicking. I'm like, okay, if I want to win this race, I need to start going all out. And then hope for the best at the end of the race. So, this is not me overdriving it, right? I'm not going 105%. I'm not driving it like it's the last lap and I'm racing for $1 million. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, because I've practiced it enough, I know approximately how hard I can go at keeping the sustainable tire balance and making up as much time as possible on this lap, but still saving some for the long run, or still not abusing the tires, especially because these tires are up to temperature. So because they're up to temperature, tires are starting to wear a little bit, just for everyone in general, no matter how much you're trying to save. Tires are starting to wear a bit. And because of that, you're not putting as much load because the speeds are starting to slow down a little bit. So this is my normal race pace right here. And I started running them down. Started running the leader down. So, challenging spot. I would say this is a challenging spot. You got, at a high tire wear track, you're going hard on your tires about 10 laps earlier than everyone else is. And that is a scary thing. Because, especially when you have drivers that you know are really strong drivers, especially in this car. And you know they know how to save their stuff. And you're pulling away from them early, it's like, it's a little scary. But I was just like, I had to run what I think is my best race, so I had to go. So I start pulling away from those guys behind me a little bit, and I start eating in. We were 1.5 away, now we're down to 1.2, 1.3. But I know if I'm going to catch them, I have to start going now. I can't keep waiting around forever. That's the mistake I made. I made at Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Was, I saved the tires. Yeah, sure. I was fast, but If I didn't have time to actually make the move, then it doesn't matter. Tenth off lap. I lost the 10th that lap. Also does help that those guys were running so close together. I think the one car just not having the track position hurts him a bit. Because I know if he starts in the pole, he's probably gone. That's what usually happens when he starts in the pole. I'm just gonna maintain times. That lap, the top 5, you can see I was the fastest out of the top 5. Anthony had a little hiccup. Leader had a little tough time. Again, I take another, this is almost 10th and a half there. And he's getting after it. Halfway through. So now we're halfway through. This is when everyone starts picking up the pace. And this is exactly when I realized, wait a minute. That 6 car is running awfully high up the track. And he gets up in the wall a bit. But I was surprised by, like, that lap before. He was matching my lap time running high. And to be honest, I had never really considered the high line to be a viable option here. I haven't done an official race on this in a very long time. I didn't actually spectate any of the races. So I was absolutely shocked to see that high side working as well as it did. But while noting that in the back, in my mirror, I also had to note that I was closing in on this leader. So he's coming out some more lap traffic, and even before the lap traffic, I was gaining on him. So we cut the lead down in half, down to under 0.7 here. Lap traffic. 18 cars, fairly gracious as far as getting out of the way. 21 is in the tougher spot. Got cars spinning on the front stretch, getting back up to speed. So we gotta watch out for that. I think he DC'd or something. I don't know. I'm not sure where he ended up. So now, less than 20 laps to go. Within a second of the leader, and the leader starts running the high side too. So I moved up the track a little bit. That wasn't really intentional. I did notice, like, okay, 3 and 4, the middle kind of works, but I wasn't like trying to really block the line too aggressively. Keep in mind, you see the track time is up to 103. That is that's very high when you consider, okay, that there's probably taking about the average track time. Right, we got 20-something cars on the track, and they're generally only running about, using up about, like, probably 20% of the surface area of the track. So when that track heats up in 3 degrees off the start, that is a lot of heat, local heat, on the track, on the racing groove. Not on the average track surface as a whole, but on the racing groove is pretty high. So that's why I believe that at this point in the race, that top groove is working, because people hadn't really, not too many people running it. Like, the one car wasn't even really running it at this point yet. And this 6 car is gaining on me. Look how much momentum he carries. And there's also one other thing to consider, is that in these long runs, like in 1 and 2 especially, you're getting that the engine is actually getting below the ideal power range in the middle of the corner. So you're not really keeping enough momentum, not keeping enough speed up to actually get the full performance of the engine. You can see how I'm like almost going to full throttle, absolutely no full steering. There's less throttle control just because of how slow you're going down at the bottom. Even though it's the shorter way around and it's a longer radius. But you're in a weird spot with the gearing where I think you can't really shift in these cars. It's not slow enough to shift and actually make it work. And even if you do, it would just been such a high variance move. So that's where right here, I switched to the top. And it did take the 6 car by surprise. I think he just lost a little air on the front coming into the corner. He was also probably just surprised that I did run high. But I only did it in 1 and 2 to try to just get a feel for it. And it worked solid. Only problem is, okay, if we're all running the high side, and this is sort of a dilemma at some tracks like you see like at Kansas sometimes. If everyone's running the high side, how are you going to get around somebody? The only way is if they're going to make a mistake, or if you can somehow get enough momentum on them to get a slide job going. Because you can't just work your way on the bottom on somebody unless the bottom is really just that strong, right? You're always going to be losing ground on them on the straights, starting the bottom. Just racecraft wise, that's just what's going to happen for these ovals. So it's a challenge for sure. So now to 0.4, I can literally see the leader right here. Yeah, I'm just... Oof. I want this lead so bad. 10 to go, or 11 to go, excuse me. It's just hit lap 35. And we essentially ran the leader down. He has some more lap traffic coming through. 6 car starts taking a look at us. This is scary, right? I can't afford to lose any time to this guy. So I have to keep running the high side. We have some lap traffic. Lap traffic's like stay low, stay low. He's running like the high side. 6 car was very sportsmanlike and not pinning me up against them. Up against the lap car and having me run straight into the lap car. I have to be thankful for him for that. So we're down. We got him, and now we're on. It's 0.2 off. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to run the high side. I don't think, honestly, I figured it out. I think I was driving it in a little too deep instead of trying to keep momentum up. And use the gas to actually keep it rotating. So I was really just driving it in and then gassing it up as soon as I knew the corner, I could make the corner. And I think that's not the ideal way to go about it. So you're not really getting that power stroke down the straightaways. But we peek under him, and now he's trying to run the middle. And I give him plenty of space, and he just makes a mistake. He's just too high up off the corner. And that's the thing about this unpredictable track surface, is like all these bumps, all the weird banking angulations and crests, and I think just up to the very top of corners, there's no grip up there. At the very top of turn 2. You have to cut down a little bit. You see right there, like, I literally just saw what happened to the leader. I'm not going to have that happen to me, so I'm going to go a little lower. I do still have plenty of speed for the 6 to run, so I'm not worried about that. And now we're just playing defense on the high side. And this is why I like the high side, especially honestly, the high side is not that bad at this track to defend. It's really strong because it's so hard you can't really dive bomb, right? No, you can't really slide job. I mean, you can, but the way I was running it was very defensive, drive in really hard into the corner because I know he can't pass me on the bottom. So each time I'm just driving it in. You see 50% brake. That's a lot of brake. 50% brake. Just gas it up as soon as I feel it can stick. Because he can't even with this line that's like not really utilizing top best for just pure speed, right? Say if I was trying to drive away from this guy, which I don't think I could have, because I think he, at least up until this battle, had taken care of his tires better. But he can't pass me. So all I needed to do was just keep it off the wall. Don't make any mistakes. And just note that, okay, as long as I get just enough speed so that you can't slide job me on a corner entry, then I should be fine. So you see, down to 118, I'm literally gassing, and I slam the gas right there. Like, you can see I slam to 100%. No wheel spin, no even oversteer, not even any power oversteer. That's just how little RPM I'm getting. So 2 to go. I was sweating. I was actually sweating. Alec was coming. But look, you can't make any momentum on the bottom. It had to be a slide job. That's the tough part about running the bottom. Yeah, if you can't clear them on exit, you just lose that exit. I'm on, like, my line is going to be about the same regardless because I'm running so high. Regardless whether he's there or not, I'm basically running almost the same line. He almost gets in way there. He tried to use a little bit of track, and I was pretty close to the wall. I don't think I could have given him enough space. That's the win right there. So, just hanging on. I think if we played that lap, another lap out, he might have had enough of a run on me to make a move. Nope, I got him. So we take the win, finally. I'm glad I could get a win for you guys. I think this is the first, if I remember correctly, this is the first win, at least of the season, that I've been able to record for you guys. So happy about that. Happy about getting the win, get iRacing gains. iRacing gets pretty solid iRacing gains considering I'm already pretty far up there, relatively speaking. So 40 plus 44 is good. Getting a win is always going to feel nice. No burnouts. I just wanted to pull in there and just chill for a bit. So thank you for watching. I'm Chris Shelley. This was a really fun race to look at tire wear, look at tuning tire balance, and so also some racecraft multi-groove. I think as far as speed goes, I'm not the best on the high side, but as far as just holding position defensively, like the high side is really strong if they can't make a dive bomb on you, at least the way I was driving it. That'll do it. I'm Chris Shelley. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. Next week will be Bristol. I'll try to get that video out for you. I have some scheduling things to work out, but yeah. See y'all later.